Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Wind chill factor is something. So let's talk about Boston and some of the ups and downs that we are going to see this week. You know, there's still actually some fall color up here in spots, but between the wind this morning that we have going on and the fact that it's really going to be chilly again tomorrow night, we are going to see some big changes temperature-wise here, I think, both in the scenery and also in what it feels like. Here's the change that has happened behind the front. We lost close to 20 degrees in Atlanta, more than 20 actually here across North Carolina, like in Wilmington, and up in the Northeast, Boston losing 20 degrees this morning compared to where we were yesterday at this time. This was a strong cold front here. You probably heard the wind going all night long. Yes, that was the cold air rushing in. And now temps are sitting in the 20s all around the Great Lakes, down through the Ohio Valley. Nashville, you're down to 33. I bet some of you in the burbs this morning snuck down into the upper 20s there at one point. And, you know, certainly with the wind chill factor, it feels like it. Feels like 30 right now in Atlanta. Feels like 20s, Chicago, Minneapolis. I mean, all throughout the plains. It's November, I know, but it's just that it's been so mild for so long that this is a little tough to get used to, right? Big dip in the jet stream, the reason why, but, you know, just as quickly as that came in, we do have a ridge building behind it in the plains that we do warm up there today, but then there's another trough coming in. And so that's going to make our temperatures cool down yet again with another front that sweeps east, cooling down our temps as we get through the end of the week. Look familiar, right? We got another big dip in the jet stream, ushering in another round of cooler air. But then we do warm up over the west, and that's a pattern that's going to hang on for a bit, actually, as we get into the weekend. So let's talk temps today. Warming up. I mean, I know it's a chilly morning for you in Oklahoma City, but we get to nearly 70 this afternoon across the Northeast and Ohio Valley. Temps are going to be in the 40s and 50s. A couple of degrees warmer tomorrow. Look at Cincinnati. We'll get to 52. Tomorrow in Nashville, we get to 60, which, you know, this is a busy travel spot for the holiday, right? And so temps will be really comfortable for tomorrow travel. Thanksgiving Day. I'll tell you the temps, but Alex, the thing about this is it comes with some rain at spots, so we'll have to break that down through the show.
We shall. Full swing of Thanksgiving travel. And, you know, with the temperatures dropping, that could spell trouble at the airport, especially when it is freezing. Icing conditions could mean that planes have to be de-iced before taking flight. Here's Jen and Jim Cantori to explain how it's all done.
You know, if you've ever waited and waited to board your flight and finally you get to take your seat and...
Well, folks, we've had light snow overnight and there are still flurries in the area. We're going to go ahead and head over and get in line to de-ice.
Yeah, de-icing causes delays, right? And de-icing is not as simple as spraying down the plane with a garden hose of antifreeze. It's a bit more complicated than that. And it's so important for planes to fly. So Jim Cantori standing outside this plane right now. Jim, take us through the science behind de-icing.
All right, so there's de-icing and anti-icing, and it's really amazing the way it's done and the way it's crafted. And remember, this doesn't happen right at the gate. Your plane will leave the gate. It will go out to a de-icing pad that's basically ready to take on all that fluid and bring it back and recycle it, not let it just go off into the environment. But here you are sitting on the pad. This is called glycol, this solution here. It's heated to about 170 degrees. Some say it actually smells a little like maple syrup. This solution essentially is to wash off the snow that is falling. And the type of procedures that we're describing here are in a situation where we not only have precipitation that's happened and accumulated on the plane, but also is expected to continue, and also we're going to see that plane go up through an area of what we call supercooled water, where your plane acts as a condensation nuclei. And if the water is super cooled, it can actually just stick right to the plane. So hence the solutions. The first one, again, is what we call type 1. That's the glycol. That's the heated one. This one is a type 4 solution. It will go on right afterward. So after they finish the orange solution, here comes the green. This is essentially your antifreeze. All right. This is what prevents the super cool water droplets from adhering to the plane. Now, it's interesting the methods that they use here, because they will go from the beginning of the plane all the way to the back of the plane, from the wing tips down to the fuselage, then back toward the tail on down to the wing. It's amazing. What happens, though, if that plane is not de-iced? Let's talk about these super cool water droplets and this condensation nuclei. Well, we know the plane and the metal is going to be below 32 degrees because that's the air that surrounds it. But sometimes water vapor can actually exist below 32 degrees in a liquid form. But if your plane acts as that condensation nuclei, guess where that supercooled water is going to adhere? the plane. And once you start adding ice and adding mass, you start changing the aerodynamics of the wings. You clog up the flaps, as would be the case when you build up ice on them. You completely lose control of the plane. So whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, and whether it's 30 minutes, de-icing is an essential part of flying, especially in the winter months. And Jen, you know, I've actually been on planes that have been de-iced, and we had to wait in line long enough where we had to go back and get de-iced again. That solution doesn't last forever.
Oh, exactly, Jim. That holdover time after you get de-iced is anywhere from 15 minutes to maybe up to an hour, depending on the weather conditions and what's falling from the sky outside the aircraft. Jim Cantori, that was awesome. That's one of my favorite things that we've done really to describe that. And we are de-icing this morning, actually de-icing at Canton-Akron Airport in Ohio, also Rochester, New York. Oh, almost got clipped by this plane, though, that made it in on time. Most flights are actually on time arrivals right now. Watching D.C. for about 15-minute arrival delays, and that's just volume. The wind so far has been okay in the Northeast airports, although it is a northwest flow, which is it's a tough wind for Newark and LaGuardia. So we'll see if we do keep things on time there today. Otherwise, D.C. is one of those spots we'll watch volume. A reason why looking at the wind perhaps is an issue around places like Wichita, and we've got Oklahoma City out there with a windy day too. The wind can cause more issues than you think. You look outside and think it's a beautiful sunny day. There'll be no travel delays. The wind can be a problem. Portland, we've got some rain coming in, and so that will be something that we contend with maybe some delays there. Now, let's talk what else is happening out there at the airports. We're also watching just a little bit of shower activity in the southwest, and I really do mean a little. We're not expecting a big deluge. You might not even get anything measurable in terms of rain, but it has been so dry for so long. So your drive to the airport, right, if you get a little bit of rain, maybe your windshield's kind of dirty, dusty, make sure you have that extra windshield wiper fluid in your vehicle. It's ready to go. And in terms of any travel out here, we're good to go right now. We're not expecting any major delays. Just keeping an eye on what changes later today into the north and west. All right, so overall across the nation, we do have on-time travel for your Tuesday. We do know that volume is going to be ramping up today and getting into tomorrow. It's been a busy one. More than 2 million people again screened at airport security yesterday. So every day it's been another big mass of people coming in and going through the airports. So luckily the weather is cooperating. We have on-time conditions right now all across the Northeast. There is that de-icing happening at the Canton-Akron Airport that I mentioned, and that might cause just a brief departure delay, but overall not expecting anything major out there. We'll have to see how the wind affects us tomorrow in places like Chicago.